welcome to Winfield's week of Rugby League, a week that started with somewhat of an upset last Wednesday night in the National Panasonic Cup. We'll have all the action of that clash between Souths and St George. We'll show you all the highlights from the Saturday match of the day between Eastern Suburbs and Penrith, and of course the State Bank big game, a super clash at Belmore Sports Ground between Canterbury, Bankstown and Manly, and as well all the highlights from every other game. But as I said, it started our week with somewhat of an upset last Wednesday night at Scully Park in Tamworth, where South Sydney took on St George in the National Panasonic Cup.
What a magnificent picture, this ground at Tamworth, Scully Park. There is hardly any marks on it at all. Looks good enough to play bowls on. Almost a windless night. South Sydney running from left to right, and Graeme Hughes, the referee, is going to get them underway. Nicely taken by Burgess. Gets around Mavin, pushes him off with a great big fend right in the middle of the forehead, and a head clash there as Harrington came into him. There's the first penalty of the match. Harrington failure to get away from the tackled player. Crowd giving Annesley a workout, or the South Sydney section of it. Now the tap restart. Craig Young, Johnson, Fafita. Looking for support, gets it back to Young up the blind, so got a pass back on the inside. It went to Fullerton Smith, it rebounded off his hands. It's gone quickly to Coleman. Coleman gets it away to the fullback, Brad Webb, and he gets up to the quarter line. Good quick play there. Clever play by Coleman. Andrew Mack, the hooker and acting dummy half. Coleman. Chisholm. One-handed pass away. Coleman cleans up the mess, goes round, gets it out to Mavin. Got a pass on the run around to Coleman. Coleman's up over the halfway line. He gets the kick ahead. There's a chase on here at the moment. Paul Roberts is after it. Burgess has fallen on it. That was needed to be done. Well, St George are in possession, and they're just outside the quarter now by about a metre. Johnson goes to dummy half. You'll see him in that role often. Fullerton Smith popped a pass there. Sometimes they're a bit dangerous when the man is held in the tackle. Fafita gets a beautiful pass from Craig Young. Got a nice pass away, but it's been picked up by Phil Blake on the intercept. I think it came off Neil Baker first. He gets up and plays it forward. He's got support on the outside. Gets it to Harrington. Harrington inside one defender. Still ploughing forward. There was a call for the ball there behind him by Chris Johns. Andrews. Looks suspiciously like he was going to go through an opening there. Mack, a dummy half. Gets it away to Coleman. Coleman on to Nelson. Selby over the top there to stop him offloading the ball. Mack. Coleman. Baker. It was top over the kick. Burgess can't handle it. Picked up by Marvin. Marvin's going to score. It's a try to South Sydney. A double error there by St George. The little kick from Baker. And George Pickens, the South Sydney coach, can't contain his pleasure at that in the stand. See it again on the National Panasonic Cup replay. Watch the control of this kick by Baker. Just quickly onto the right foot and through. Was interfered with slightly. Burgess got really taken out of the play there. There was the opportunity for number 5 there, Brian Quinton, to do something about it, but he made a meal of it. It's rolling end over end over end over end, and it's over. The South Sydney fans, and they are legion up here, raise the roof when South Sydney have hit the front after about 17 minutes of play in this first half, and they lead by 6 points to 0. 10 metres outside their quarter. Nelson doing a functional job with Hoskins in the South Sydney front row. Coleman gets the kick in. Burgess fields it. Two St George players down in back play at the moment. Graeme Hughes, did you see what that was all about?
There was a great clash of heads as Wally Fullerton Smith sets himself for a tackle and collides with Michael Beattie, and both men down and well and truly out for the count.
Yes, we saw that on the National Panasonic replay there, and that was a very nasty head clash. Two players coming in to tackle the one South Sydney man, and the heads came together. Nasty stuff. They look poleaxed. St George down at the moment. That pass has gone to ground. It was never on. South Sydney come up with possession at the moment. They've got a two-man advantage. Roy Masters is in a quandary, one would think. Does he use replacements, or does he go around with 11 men? Are they going to come good? South Sydney. Coleman realises the importance of keeping the ball alive and running him around. Max at dummy half. Only about 12 metres from the halfway line. That should be a penalty. It is. Selby refuses to get off the tackle player. And both these St George players, Beattie and Fullerton Smith, really, Beattie and Noak, in all sorts of trouble. Oh, heavens above. Fullerton Smith's gone down again. We've got Noak down in the middle of the field. Fullerton Smith doesn't know where he is. He's rubber legs. Oh dear, oh dear. Yes, we're seeing it all on the National Panasonic replay. Totally accidental. Players not being aware of the situation. South Sydney kicking for touch through Baker and getting it up to the St George quarter. They lead 6-0. They've got a golden opportunity. There's two new players have to fit into the pattern for St George and have to get themselves warmed up. Wayne Chisholm just on the quarter line. Andrew Mack at dummy half. He runs from there. No way through the middle of the ruck. Coleman. Back to Baker. The attempted field goal looks good. So that puts them a point away. That's a very kosher bit of football there. Taking it up to 7 points to 0 in favour of the South Sydney side. There's the drop kick of the National Panasonic Cup replay. A good one. And Baker comes good with a kick. 7 points, South Sydney. A try, a goal and a field goal. They've come up with a scrum win. Baker kicking on the first tackle. The chase is on. Harrington's going to go close to getting there. Johnson's got the pace on him. The ball goes up. That's it. Where is the ball? The referee's awarded a try. Well, Johns overran the ball. That's an astonishing bit of football here. Harrington's not the fastest wing three-quarter in the world. The chase was on. I believe that St George Johns was there first. And at that stage, he just missed the ball completely. Just asking a question without notice. Would Johns be in first grade again if you were the coach of the St George side for next week?
Well, he'd certainly know all about what he did in that certain incident. I wouldn't be crucifying on just a one piece of play.
Well, I tend to be a little bit more to the point of certain fundamentals being ignored. They're not deserving of being in first grade. The kick by Baker has gone over the dead ball line and away to the right. No goal. 11-0. Mack came up with it after all that. Harrington runs from dummy half. That's the sort of scene that I see Harrington at his absolute best. He's had the ball picked out of his hands and picked up again by Mack. Mack goes for a sprint. He had support coming up on the inside in the shape of Phil Blake. Couldn't get a pass away. Now to Coleman. Coleman. Roberts on the outside. Goes to Webb. Webb will foot it. He's in for another try. No, he's not. He's pulled it back. Graeme Hughes has pulled it back. He was standing directly in line with a play on the quarter. Coleman was the man, went nicely to Roberts. Roberts looks back on the inside and then turns and gives it on the outside to Webb. Yes, I guess it's about a metre forward when you look at the line. South Sydney in possession. Jason Moon. And there's the hooter for half-time. So the St George side in all sorts of trouble at the moment at the end of the second quarter with half-time being the go. Baker now from midway between the quarter and the halfway. Almost directly in the middle of the field. That's gone away to the right. And it's gone off a St George player, would you believe, over the dead ball line. Just an astonishing error by Selby. Absolutely astonishing. Didn't need to touch it. Now they're under pressure again with South Sydney getting the ball back from the kickoff. Well, there's George Piggins and Terry Parker, the secretary of the South Sydney side. Chisholm. 7 metres outside his quarter. Almost time up in this third quarter. Up the blind side they come. There's a bit of an overlap here and it's gone to Jason Moon. He's got the pass back on the inside to Coleman. Coleman's got it to support. There's a try straight away for Paul Roberts. And what a good try. Oh, what a good try it's been. The Panasonic Cup replay. Go on, smile, George Piggins. Let yourself go. Sitting on the sideline there, trying to hold it back. See it again on the Panasonic Cup replay. An absolutely beautiful try. At that point, Coleman switched it to the blind side because he saw the St George numbers just weren't there. Phil Blake gave it out to Jason Moon. The tackle of Fulton Smith was not there. Back on the inside to Craig Coleman. And watch there as Paul Roberts goes on the left, from the left to the right of him. And the pass completely wrong-footed Glenn Burgess, and over went Roberts. He makes a habit of scoring these long tries. Graeme Hughes.
Well, as Neil Baker converts this try to make it 19-0 in South Sydney's favour. It's normally the third quarter where National Panasonic Cup matches are won, and that's wrapped it up.
And there's the kickoff. And Graeme Hughes, we've got one change in the South Sydney side.
Mark Ellison, the man in 16 out there replacing Paul Roberts. No major injury worries for Roberts.
Well, Ellison's a former South Sydney player that went to Cronulla, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he's quite a talented footballer. He has got some well-renowned ball skills and very complete footballer. He's a man to keep your eye on.
Well, I'm advised that the error count for St George has got over the 20, and it's 20-6 in St George's favour, if that's the sort of favour you want. Baker gets the kick charge down. This will be a try to St George from a charge down. Wynn comes up with a four-pointer. And I've been talking for weeks, and I'm not trying to be a smarty, about fullbacks or 5/8s or people generally who adopt a kicking role taking too late to kick the ball. That was a classic example of it. Letting the opposition come too close to them. And that was another bad example of it. You've seen Wynn come up with a perfectly legitimate try. I'm reminded that Graham Wynn is a bit of a local hero up here because he came from Werris Creek, which isn't terribly far away from Tamworth. Hall, 2 metres inside the quarter and about 24 metres inside the sideline. Gets it high in the air, and suddenly St George, a turnaround. They're on the board. Can their tails wag? Craig Young, Robinson. Greg Evans. Ball finally going to funnel. Robinson putting it out there to Beattie. Beattie turns the back on the inside. Chris Johns was linking with him there. Johnston at dummy half. Craig Young pops the pass well to Fulton Smith. He's taken strongly. Good tackle there by Chisholm. Johnson. Well, they're starting to run amok at the moment. Funnel's on the way through. Could this be a comeback? Got the pass away. It's gone to South Sydney.
Michael Blake, Phil's brother, out there in 14. The man to come off was Wayne Chisholm.
Coleman on the break from the scrum, just back near the halfway line. He's got up to the quarter. Phil Blake at dummy half. Steps. He's got a hole right through the middle there. Is he going to go? Gets the pass away strongly there to Mark Ellison. Ellison on the lookout to score a try. He's a replacement in the last few minutes. South Sydney piling on the pressure at the moment. They're only about 5 metres out. Ellison, the dummy, he runs into a peck of trouble there too as Wynn's underneath him. Burgess over the top. On the blind side they go. Coleman looking for support. The pass was knocked down, picked up by Melbourne. He's unable to ground the ball in the in-goal area, but unable to ground the ball. Out the St George side. Burgess, the fullback, is up there in a sort of a 5/8 position on the blind side. Johns runs from dummy half, and Funnel was standing too shallow, and it actually overrun him. It's a cardinal error. Johnson, Craig Young, back inside the Funnel, pops a pass nicely, gets it away there to Greg Evans, and Evans gets it to Johnson, but that try's been ruled way forward, correctly so. Well, again, they're aiming at us. Jason Moon on the run around from Mack for South Sydney. The Rabbitohs have kept up a very great amount of commitment. All their players have tried very hard, particularly the two young props that were on first. Hosking and Nelson, they did a great job in the opening half. Coleman, nice pass to Andrews. His support overran him slightly. He's got into the clear now. He's looking for support. He's got Mack there. He's throwing the dummy. Got a pass away to Blake, and Blake's over underneath the post. That was a great bit of solo football there by Andrews. He's come up with some very clever ball skills. Very clever ball skills indeed. And Phil Blake's come up with the dregs of the try, and good stuff it was. But from head on in the National Panasonic Cup, Coleman again being instrumental in setting this up with a change of direction. But there he is, Andrews, fighting his way through one tackle and again through the funnel tackle. So that's two defenders he's beaten. He's beaten Burgess with a giant dummy. And when you give it to Phil Blake 15 metres out from the line, there you can put the glasses down. Just from virtually in front, there it is. It's a simple kick. So the scoreline now really an embarrassment to the St George side. 23 points South Sydney, 6 to St George. Penalty goes to St George. Craig Young trying to barrel his way over. He's only about 7 metres out from the line. Robinson, Wynn stepping his way through one tackle. Michael Blake comes at him. Gets up and plays it forward. He's been held back. And now he's appealing to the referee for a penalty try, but he's not going to get it. So what has been a desperately disappointing performance by St George culminates in them going down the gurgler and being beaten by a South Sydney side by 23 points to 6.
And a big win to South Sydney there over St George. A very solid victory, that one. Let's go to Saturday now, the match of the day at Parramatta Stadium, where Eastern Suburbs took on Penrith. The Roosters, of course, trying to remain undefeated in the Winfield Cup.
There we are, the Roosters, and an unchanged lineup from the side which defeated Balmain last Saturday afternoon in the ABC television match, and a magnificent performance last week from Tony Milrose, one of the featured backs there, and the Eastern Suburbs forwards who played so brilliantly against Balmain, containing that outstanding Balmain pack unchanged as well. The trump card this afternoon for Eastern Suburbs could well be Tony Milrose. He's in probably the best form of his rugby league career, and who knows, he might even get a blue Guernsey later in the season in the State of Origin series.
They look forward to better fortune in 1987. From the west of Sydney, the Penrith Panthers.
Well, the Penrith Panthers certainly are in the doldrums so far this season, but there's plenty of class amongst those backs. Alexander, Izzard, Lydiard, Gonzalez, Cole Bentley from Coogin. They certainly have got a lot of ability there, and who knows, they might topple East this afternoon. And those forwards, they've had to bring Craig Izzard into the side because he's been in outstanding form in reserve grade. Darryl Broman had to make way for him, and there's the lineup. Tim Sheens is the coach. Well, the trump card, Jeff Gerard. It might well be Jeff Gerard because Big Jethro is playing his 291st grade game this afternoon. The kick-off, and Penrith get the ball just outside their own quarter line, and they're going to play the ball. Roy Simmons is then at half, or dummy half there. And the interesting thing about Roy Simmons is, Steve-O, it wasn't until really midway through the under-23s match that Simmons actually declared himself fit to play in the match this afternoon.
It's an amazing situation, David. I mean, I hope that Simmons does get through the game okay, but it's been a problem all season, and there's definitely something wrong with him. I can't understand why he doesn't get to a specialist and sort it out, and why the club allows him to continue to be playing is beyond me. He could be doing irreparable damage.
And now it's going to be a penalty against Penrith, and I dare say Matt Goodwin's going, well, he was spoken to on the run then by Greg McCallum, the referee this afternoon, and Goodwin came flying in there with a swinging arm in one of those tackles. You didn't, everyone saw it. And yes. Also I noticed that Greg McCallum certainly had a few words to say to Matt Goodwin, and there he is actually speaking to him again. Simmons up there, the Penrith captain. Now it's Melrose going to kick for touch out here on the western touchline. This is the Ken Thornett grandstand we're sitting in. On the eastern touchline stands the Michael Cronin grandstand. And the second kick being taken by Hastings. A number of moves try to be worked there. I think they almost got themselves into trouble, but making the big break downfield. Eastern Suburbs with a chance. The ball's come towards Chalice. Well, I don't know what Patterson was trying to do, but...
Well, the ball out there, Patterson certainly had the right idea, but instead of giving it to an Eastern Suburbs player, now you see this was a set move. He came onto the inside and looked out, and then there's the referee. So there you are, ref. Thanks a lot. I don't want it.
So here we go. Penrith now with a chance to go on the attack. They've got the ball 35 metres out. Now taking it up is Gerard, and Gerard's taken to the ground. He's only about, 8 metres outside the quarter line. Simmons, that was almost forward as it went to Geyer. The big fellow's taken down right on the eastern suburbs quarter line. Simmons into dummy half. It's come the blind side from Alexander to Craig Izzard. Back it goes towards another one of the Penrith players. Going without it was Cartwright, and East have come up with possession.
Well, that was nervous play by Craig Izzard. Brad Izzard. Really couldn't get that ball out cleanly. And that's one of the big problems, David, these days. It's all high pressure, with the defence coming on quickly. If it's not there, if it's not 60 or 70% certain you can get the ball away, stick to it.
Portlock kicking for touch over on the western touch line, and I think that the fullback Nissen, traps it with his foot, then gathers it up and runs it back. I think he was in two minds. He wasn't sure whether to let that cross the touch line or try and pick it up, and in the end he probably did the safest thing, because there was no eastern suburbs players up there really to put the pressure on him.
Certainly right there, David. Penrith there, Simmons of course, and that's the way they've got to run onto it.
And that's Craig Izzard, the lock forward this afternoon. He's been in great form in reserve grade as Simmons gets that pass away to Cartwright, and Cartwright's got to within 40 metres of the eastern suburbs line. And that's where he'll get up and play it. Simmons, it's come away from Alexander to Brad Izzard. He throws the dummy, goes on his own. The pass comes up to Gonzalez, down to the quarter line, and McGann takes him over the top, and Speeder underneath. Tackle number 5 against the Penrith Panthers as Bentley goes away to Alexander. He puts that kick up. It's coming down out towards Steve Morris on the wing. Oh, he almost dropped it. He did drop it. Stacks on the middle, and he's going to pick it up. In fact, he's been pushed across the touchline, and the referee's going to penalise Penrith.
Well, at first, David, I thought that was a really bad kick by Alexander. He gets right over into the corner. Now, Morris is all on his own. Whoops. Juggles about. And there you see, well, there's a chance wasted. And the referee did call. There you saw the expression on Morris's face. Please, ref, that'll be a penalty. And he got it.
I think the reason why that was such a bad kick, and why it looked a bad kick when it left the boot, was that there was nobody at home over on that wing except Steve Morris, and he's a flyer. And if Morris had taken it cleanly, he could well have been set sail on an 80-metre run to the try line. Eastern suburbs with the ball, though. Only about 30 metres out from their own line as Spina is taken to the ground. 12 metres short of the halfway. Patterson to dummy half. It's out towards Tobin. Tobin's long pass out to Prome. And Prome trying to set up Chalice. Still maintained his balance and got the pass to Tobin. Back it goes to Hall. Now with the ball, it's gone from Hastings across now to Patterson. Patterson down the centre. Patterson the prop. He's up over the halfway. McGann on the inside. Morris on the outside. Morris sockets it ahead, and it goes in the touch down towards the Penrith border line.
Wasted chance there by the Roosters. Good play by the prop. Patterson showed amazing speed. Now you see the ball, and they've kept the ball alive. Good play by the 5'8". And the prop, Patterson. And really not the best of passes, but the centres were way behind. They should have backed up a lot quicker than that.
See the way he bounded away as if he was bone crusher there at one stage. I didn't think he had any problems with the knee. That's a real tragedy for Eastern Suburbs, because he's been playing very well in the opening minutes. So Patterson being replaced by Peter Johnston. The scrum to go down, only about 13 or 14 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line. And Tobin was down on his haunches for a little while too. He's back into the pack. The scrum's won by Penrith. Alexander, away it goes to Brad Izzard. Izzard will score! Brilliant combination, brilliant try. Penrith lead 4-0.
Just what the doctor ordered, David. And that's the difference between forcing a pass that's not on and one that's definitely on. Just watch this. The 5'8", bustling. Now, beautiful pass by Alexander. He draws the defence. Now, he caught Hall just outside there, and he had the strength to go over. Now watch from the back here, he drags away Tobin. Now Hall is in two minds there. There you see his left, and good play by the 5'8". That'll build his confidence and certainly build the Panthers' confidence.
Certainly do a lot for Brad Izzard too. This is his, 7th season of Rugby League football with Penrith. He only scored 9 tries last year. This year he's already scored 2.
8 points for the season, and that's really what they needed. But there's the difference, David. They were pushing the pass when it was never on, and the skill of Alexander just holding the ball at the correct time, and full credit to Izzard, positioned himself outside of Brendan Hall, the 5'8", and created the gap.
Here comes Alexander attempting the extras, and he's put it straight over the black dot. And so Penrith are leading Eastern Suburbs by 6 points to 0. That's despite the fact that they've been giving away penalties with gay abandon. There's 6-3 in favour of East. And now it's Goodwin who takes the ball down the centre, and he's chopped down just inside East territory. Simmons, now Gerard, and Gerard coming in close to Simmons, gains another few metres. Simmons again, the dummy half, goes on his own. That's taking the ball down the centre, Geyer. Finished off pretty well by McGann. Welcome to first grade. Simmons, Alexander, Brad Izzard. Izzard puts that kick in. Now flying through is Lydiard. Lydiard and Morris and the ball will win the race over the touchline.
Good play by Izzard. Craig, Brad, should I say? I do get them mixed up. Brad, a little chip through there, and it was a beautiful kick here, right the way through. And there you see David Lydiard, and he has the pace on Morris. Rather surprising. Morris was really in a bad position. Should have expected that kick.
Scrum finished up with Eastern Suburbs with the ball. Tobin, and that's ball. Oh, what a tackle. Good defence from Penrith. They're a lot keener than they were in the opening few minutes. That try really has lifted their confidence.
Certainly has, David, and those two hits there by the forwards. And I think Coach Arthur Beeton will be very wise to tell his forwards, look, let's get out of the middle here. Let's get the ball out wide.
Melrose has tackled.
They try to take them on very close to the rucks, and they're getting no success.
And now a penalty against Penrith for being up inside the 5, and that'll certainly relieve the pressure for Eastern Suburbs.
They certainly needed it, David, because they're under a lot of pressure there, and they look to be a bit at 6s and 7s. As I mentioned earlier, I think they'd do far better to try to work the link and try to run the forwards away. Well, here we see the tackle in Brendan Hall. Thank you. And yes, I think you can say it was the shoulder.
So that's Gilmeister, who's taken by Goodwin back towards the halfway line. Royce Simmons also up there involved in the tackle as Portlock takes it ahead. Simmons, who's been suffering from this mystery ailment, no one quite knows what it is, has got through a fair bit of work in the opening 25 minutes of this match.
Certainly has, David, but there's got to be a cloud over his fitness. Will he last the full 80 minutes?
Portlock now taking the ball, McGann. Now that's Tessman. He's away from one. And now taking the ball back. That's Crone, and Crone down towards the quarter line. Back it goes to Chalice. Chalice has got support. He's gone without the support though. And he's going to be held up only 10 metres out from Penrith line. Hastings to dummy half. It goes across to Portlock. Portlock puts the kick in. Now the supports are flying through. McGann and Morris will win the race. The ball's been knocked back across the dead ball line though by Lydiard. And play will restart with the line dropout. And that must have been only the extra fingertips that Lydiard had, which prevented Morris from winning that race to the ball.
Certainly was. It was a 50-50 situation here, and really there was a chance for Morris. Just had tipped out there. Good play by Lydiard, got himself back. But good lead-up play by the Roosters. I thought they bombed it there. Hastings should have gone outside. Chalice was looking for him. He stepped inside, and the gap was there, but Hastings, for some unknown reason, stopped.
And now they've lost the ball, Eastern Suburbs. Craig Izzard has got it for Penrith. So they made another couple of mistakes. Now that's Simmons. Out it goes from Goodwin. The pass finishes up with Lydiard. Lydiard trying to get on the outside of his opposite man, Morris.
Well, little knock on in there.
Only about 40 metres out. Tobin makes some good ground. Back it goes, that's Hall. Now it's with Hastings. He finds Tessman. Tessman almost knocks Melrose out of the way. Melrose has got the ball though, but Morris is nowhere to be found over there on the right wing. He'll get up and play it, only about 20 metres out. Now it goes from Hastings. Zonda goes to McGann. McGann's underneath. McGann for the line. McGann still going. He's only 2 metres short of the Penrith line. Eastern Suburbs right on the attack. Hastings, Spina. It's with Hall, and Hall can't get away. That defence was up quickly. Tobin picks it up. Tobin will score. Tobin's in.
Good play by the 5'8" there, and well supported by John Tobin. A great servant to the Eastern Suburbs club over the years, and fully deserved that. And that was good work by the Roosters. They kept the ball alive, and that's the sort of football that completely bamboozled Balmain last week. Here we see it's a little bit of a scrappy play, but full credit to the 5'8". He got the ball away, and Penrith were all at sea. They were getting back, getting ready for the play of the ball, and the lock goes in for the try. Here we see it again. Spooner out wide. Hall steps, and he turns around, and the ball bounces through. Tobin says thank you. That's his first try of the season, and he'll love that one. 4 points, and they couldn't come at a better time.
Played 105 games for Eastern Suburbs. Only managed 5 games last year because of injury, so certainly a great welcome back to first grade for Johnny Tobin. And he really has been one of the stalwarts of Eastern Suburbs over the last 10 years or so, in fact 9 years. He joined the club in 1978, formerly from Belconnen down in Canberra. So Milrose from almost in front moves in. There's the kick. The extras are added. And so here at the Parramatta Stadium with just 11 minutes remaining in the first half, Eastern Suburbs 6, Penrith 6.
Well, let's hope now, David, that we may see a little bit more of enterprising football. Both sides have been quite happy to keep it very tight, take it down the middle, and then maybe put on the move. But we saw for the first time there the glimpse of the Eastern Suburbs' second and third phase of attacking football, where they're backing each other up, and Tobin was on hand to score a very valuable try.
So Morris running it back towards the quarter line, and that's where he's got out of that tackle. They had him held up for, what, 99% of the time, and now he's going for another little run, the little fella. Look at him go! Stevie Morris has got the ball almost back to the halfway line. He's lost a boot. It's about 15 metres away, and now the mistake from Johnston and all that good work from Steve Morris sees the ball finish up with Penrith.
Not surprising, Horry Hastings was really laying the law down there. That ball wasn't intended for the youngster.
Now Cartwright, 11 metres inside Eastern Suburbs territory, 10 metres in from the Mick Cronin stand side of the field as it goes from Alexander. Brad Izzard now coming onto the ball. Now that's Lydiard, he's trying to get some space created on the inside, but good defence. Means he can't continue that going, but now the ball's come back from Craig Izzard. Away it goes to Cole Bentley, and Bentley's 9 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs quarter line. Last tackle, Geyer, Gerard, now it's with Alexander. He should have got the ball first man off the ruck. Now Cartwright decides to put it high in the air. Lydiard coming through. Lydiard and Portlock. Portlock's superb.
Certainly was, David. Good play by the fullback, but that was woeful positioning by the Penrith side there on the last tackle, and it went through the hands of 2 forwards. Deary me, and watch the fullback there, eye on the ball all the time.
They swing the ball wide, Eastern Suburbs. Morris with a bit of a chance, but the referee's going to rule it forward.
Here comes the touch judge. He's obviously seen something in back play there. Well, this is the reason why. And there you see the late tackle high. And that's the reason why the penalty was given.
And now Penrith with a chance. Izzard! Brad Izzard's in for his second. No, he's lost the ball. As he tried to put the ball down, he's lost it.
Well, that was a let-off for the Roosters. They gave away that penalty there. This was good play, especially good play by Bentley. Shows a lot of strength here. Hits the tackle and backing up by the 5'8". Now you'll see him stretch out. Definitely no try.
So this scrum going down on the Eastern Suburbs quarter line. 6-all the score. East 6, Penrith 6, and they've 1-1 against the head. Alexander's got the pass away to miss, and he's up over the quarter line. So they've certainly got a chance here, the Penrith Panthers, right on half-time as the ball's played. It's gone from lob to Alexander to Craig Izzard, and he's wrapped up only 17 metres out from that Eastern Suburbs line. Simmons, it goes to Gerard, on it goes to Cartwright. Unconventional but effective. 12 metres away. Simmons has a shot at field goal. It looks pretty good. Royce has got one. Royce Simmons has kicked the field goal on the stroke of half-time, and Penrith are leading 7-6.
Well, good thinking by the skipper there. He certainly got himself into a good position, and I can tell you from the year, there's a half-time hooter, and I can tell you from over the years that Royce Simmons has had some awful attempts at the field goal, but this one was spot on. And it sends the Panthers in by 1 point. And it's not surprising, Hastings 19 tackles in the first half, but a total of 58 errors combined in both sides. So it gives you some indication, very scrappy game indeed.
So there's the restarted play, and it's Portlock who gathers the ball straight away, sends it away to Prome, and Prome has had a strong first half. Gets the ball back towards the halfway line. There was some talk that perhaps Royce Simmons mightn't return after the half-time break, but he's certainly back out there. I'll be intrigued really to see how long he lasts. He certainly was very strong in the first 20 minutes, but it seemed perhaps that injury might be getting to him in the second 20 minutes of that first half.
Well, it's a great effort by the Kangaroo hooker. But I often wonder, it's very similar, and this is the replay of the kick. Beautiful position there. And once again, we see the wingman out of position. But it always reminds me of a boxer, David. Just how far can they go? Do they make their own problems?
So now we're seeing a big break made by Brad Izzard. He's over the halfway. He's over the quarter line. Izzard will go almost the length of the field. Melrose drives, misses, and Izzard scores.
Oh boy, tremendous play. And talk about putting confidence back into a side. But let's not forget, this guy has not hit top form in 1987. And there's only one way to repay your critics and do a run like that. And once again, we see the try coming from a scrum win and the strength, a good fend off of Hall. And he sets his mind through it. Now he's got to start there on Melrose. He leaves the second rower, Gilmeister, in his wake. Now Melrose is trying his damnedest. Now good play by the 5'8". He was bobbing and weaving just enough, and that psychologically puts off the man who was travelling. And for a guy who isn't really all that fast, David, that really was a great try.
Here's Alexander, there's the extras, and they've got away to lead by 7 points now, Penrith. Penrith are leading by 13 points to 6. And that field goal kick by Royce Simmons just before half-time could well be the difference between winning and losing the match in the end. It's certainly opened up in fine style in the second half, the Panthers, as it goes across to Geyer. Geyer up over the halfway line, pops the pass up, but going without it is Nissen. Gilmeister back there picks up the crumbs for Eastern Suburbs. But they've cut them to ribbons in the opening minutes of the second half.
They certainly have. Oh, dear me.
And
well, Trevor Gilmeister would be better to just keep out of this. And that's the pressure that the Roosters have put themselves under. He just seemed to lose his cool completely then, did Gilmeister. Well, here we see the ball away. Now, you'll notice Gilmeister take his time about this, really doesn't rush upon it. And he takes offence by the fact that Lydiard comes in over the top, and he's clinging him to the ground, and he said, hang on, you're going to get something for this, boy. And there you see, well, Lydiard definitely started it. Give him one for his corner, and here we see, oops. Well, 50-50 all in the game.
Jeff Gerard there obviously going in to try and drag them apart, the experienced prop. But there's no doubts, and the touch judge by the looks of things has seen it the way it actually happened, or the referee saw it as well. And that's good refereeing, because undoubtedly the first, or the aggressor, initially was David Lydiard.
But how many times do you see the retaliator, David, pay the penalty?
That's so often the case, isn't it? So Eastern Suburbs get the penalty, and they probably just needed that to settle things down a little bit, because Penrith had really put them on the rack in the opening moments of the second half, as Prome tries to get through the Izzard brothers and has tackled 8 metres inside Eastern Suburbs territory. Hall, it goes blindside, and that's Tobin now, who's minus the headgear.
Rather surprising, David. Beaton told them at half-time, as soon as you get into the Penrith area, go for the field goal to square things up. Well, I don't know whether that's good tactics. There's still 40 minutes to play, and I was thinking more in the line, let's get the ball out wide and get a try.
So
but it went the other way.
Gilmeister back towards the halfway. It's gone from Hastings, Portlock, and his kick put in behind Lydiard will find touch just outside the quarter line.
There's a coach, Tim Sheens. Doesn't look too happy about the fact that they're leading by 7 points.
Eastern Suburbs with the ball on the quarter line. McGann, that's Tobin. He's gone without it, and Craig Izzard comes up with it. Well, that really has been the story of the game. They've just been making elementary errors. And there's a good tackle from Melrose, and finishing the tackle up over there is Gilmeister. There's the errors at this stage. Just so many missed tackles, the drop balls, the bad passes that really hasn't been...
Well, you don't have to have many marbles upstairs, David, to work out with 45 errors that the game is a bit of a stop-start affair. But the second half, well, it's shaping up to be a lot better. Both sides keeping the ball alive.
Goodwin, basketball pass by, found Gerard, lovely ball away to Brad Izzard. Izzard's up over the halfway, back the ball goes towards Lydiard. Lydiard will probably score, he's over the quarter line, Chalice coming at him, the ball goes to Alexander, and Alexander scores! What a try!
What a try indeed, David. You won't see better than that this year. And great play by Lydiard. Well, he got some stitches in his tongue. It may be a lot of pain for him, but it would have been erased by that great play by the former Parramatta player. Now, this is the reason why they kept the ball alive. A beautiful pass by Gerard. It only moved about 3 inches. The strength of this man, talk about regaining your confidence. Now, he has the speed to get round Portlock. Now, watch this. This is a man that should have gone on his own. Steps inside with a beautiful pass, and support play supreme by Alexander from a different angle. Simmons keeping the ball alive. Now you'll see Goodwin, an awful pass here, awkward should I say. Gerard, watch it, only inches. Beautiful play, step side, the strength inside to Lydiard. Beautiful speed here. Now watch how cool and calm he keeps himself. No one at home, thank you very much.
There we are, Greg Alexander, his first try of the year. He's also just converted the try. Last year, he scored 11 tries and 69 goals for a total of 183 points. And maybe Penrith are on the way back. Just see when he went over to score the try. His nickname's Brandy. You'd swear he just had a Brandy, Alexander. He had a smile from ear to ear. Penrith leading by 19 points to 6. Eastern Suburbs with the ball. Long pass finds Melrose. And going without it is Crome again, but the referee will rule that a knockback. They've created a few opportunities for themselves. That time they had 3 on 2. And they couldn't handle it properly.
They've ruined it every time, David. They really haven't even got anywhere near a roll-on like they got in the start of this season.
Still, there's plenty of time left in the match. There's 17 minutes to go as Melrose, now it's with Hastings. Hastings across field looking for that gap. And in fact, they've lost the ball. Geyer has it. The ball's gone loose. The referee's called time off here. There must be, Hastings is down hurt. And it must be worrying because the referee just blew it up. There was I think it was Jeff Gerard who might have been across there, or was it Mark Geyer? One of the Penrith forwards said something to the referee. Now, I'm not sure what it was all about.
Well, let's watch it on the replay now. It's a pretty heavy tackle that he went awkward.
There's no doubts from what I read of that anyway, that it was Jeff Gerard who asked the referee to blow that up, especially when the ball had gone loose.
And that's all he needs now, is to put his head down in the scrum.
And look at that, pretty equal those scrums, as there's an immediate kick through from Lydiard, from Izzard I should say, and going through very quickly, going for the ball is Morris, it's loose, it's a try! It'll be a try. The referee who's awarded the try, as Izzard's kick went into the end goal area. Morris had a go at it. Morris obviously hasn't been able to force the ball. Lydiard has been awarded the try, and Penrith are leading 23-6.
Good play by the Panthers. And talk about confidence. It was a beautiful kick by the 5'8", Brad Izzard. And he certainly bounced back to the best. And you'll see it at the last minute. Well, we have the advantage. Now, which one is he giving the try to? You'll see the kick here. Now, Lydiard's definitely onside. He certainly put Spina out of the way. There it is, just bobs up. It's amazing what a football can do these days. Now there we see the centre dive, and there's Lydiard. He's allowed it to play on. And a try. And what a great second half this guy's having. Gives himself stitches. Try number 2 of the season. And I think you can safely say that's it. And as we speak, Greg Alexander coming in for the kick, David. It looks like Hastings limping from the field.
pretty seriously hurt by the looks of him, that left leg, as Alexander comes in, and there's the kick, and it's a shocker. Well, it's hard to say who actually will be given that try. Obviously, the referee didn't think that Cole Bentley got a hand on it initially, and he's given the try to Lydiard. Well, that's Bentley certainly seemed pretty keen on the fact that he'd scored himself by his reaction. Anyway, Eastern Suburbs have got a chance. Tessman plays it. It goes from Hardy onto McGahn. McGahn goes straight down the centre. All the Kiwi man almost got through. He's 12 metres out. He plays it ahead and goes on his own. And it's going to be a penalty against Penrith for being offside. Now they'll take the quick tap here. McGahn, away it goes from Spooner onto Tobin. Tobin trying to get between Connor and Izzard and can't do so. He's 11 metres out from the Penrith line. They bring it back the other way through Hall. Now that's Spooner. Spooner decides to go on his own. 10 metres out from the Penrith goalpost. Dummy half Hardy. That's McGahn. McGahn holds the pass up and then sends it back the other way to Gilmeister. Gilmeister finds Hall. And Hall's tackled. Only about 9 metres out. McGahn down injured in the back play also. Gilmeister, the dummy half. It's gone away to Spooner. Spooner on his own. The ball's gone loose. That's picked up by Morris. Morris gets his pass back to Hardy. Hardy's got his pass away. That's Hall. Hall trying to find a little gap. Can't do so. He's lost the ball. And Craig Izzard comes up with it for Penrith.
Well, who'd be a football coach, David? Only last week, after the Eastern Suburbs beat Balmain, a lot of people were tipping them for certainties for the top 5. If not for the premiership itself, but really, on today's performance, they've still got a lot of work to do. Who would be a coach?
Jeff Gerard coming off, Paul Ackery coming on for Penrith. And what a big game Jethro's had for them this afternoon too.
They certainly put a lot of effort into it. 22 tackles. He settled it down when they needed to be.
Penrith taking the ball up is Ackery, and he's really had a big season so far. He's been the man of the match in almost every game that the Penrith reserve grade side have had. So he's certainly been in good form. Alexander's kick up over the halfway. Worth, he gets away from Izzard. Now runs it back. He's tackled by Connor, almost in the centre of the halfway.
There we see Horry, the magical ice. But the excruciating pain on his face there, David. He's really put a lot of effort into it.
Morris going on his own, and Morris gets it within 30 metres of the line and loses the ball, and Penrith have come up with it out wide through Gonzalez. The ball booted through, so there'll be 6 to go, and there is, says the referee. And this youngster guy takes it, in fact it's Robinson, takes the ball almost back to the halfway line. That's Goodwin. And there's Jeff Gerard, obviously very hot. The most experienced footballer in Sydney in the Winfield Cup competition. And Simmons goes from dummy half, and his pass has been intercepted by Gilmeister. He's got it away and turned to Worth. Worth running it back towards the halfway. He's up over the halfway. Worth could score. He's over the corner line, and Worth will score a brilliant try. Worth is in. It's 23-10.
23-10 indeed, David. Only 10 minutes of the game remaining. It's going to be a great effort if the Roosters can get back and win this one. And Arthur Beetson, he can take a big slap on the back for that one. He brought Worth on to bring a little bit of enthusiasm and speed. That was a bad pass by Simmons, an awkward pass back there. He took it cleanly. Watch the speed, first gear, second gear, third, now into fourth. Nobody's going to stop me, boy. Well, he scored 3 tries against him last season. Completely demoralised them last year at Penrith Park. Now there's an awkward pass back there by Gilmeister. It really wasn't the bad ball, but he took it on the half volley. Now watch the speed. Oh, this is top gear. That really is good stuff. Jaguar, boy, go. That really is what was needed. Well, let's hope that for the Roosters fans anyway, Melrose can add these 2 points.
Well, they're vital too. If he puts this over, they've got time to score 2 converted tries, and that's what they need to do to win the game. There's the kick from Melrose. It's there. 2 more points for the Roosters. It's 23 points to 12 with only 8 minutes remaining in the match. Now, can the Roosters get back into it? They need a converted try. They need 2 converted tries to win the game. Penrith will take their time. So Eastern Suburbs with the ball. We've got about 3.5 minutes left in the match as Hall will get up and play the ball. A few metres inside Penrith territory. Gilmeister running across the ruck. Now it's gone from Prome out to Chalice, and Chalice gets away from Robinson. He gets away from Izzard. He's away from another. That's Tessman with the ball. Tessman, can he get his pass? Well, he got it away, and I think you'll find that Penrith have come up with it, and they have through Craig Izzard. Geyer. Hasn't he had a big game?
Certainly has, and he's the start of the future, David. He may be a little bit raw in certain areas, but he makes up for it with the effort. And some of the crunch tackles he's come off has certainly put back the Eastern Suburbs today.
He's only 19 too. He's got a huge future in front of him. Having played last year in both the City and the New South Wales under-18 side. As out wide, it's Brad Izzard, and Izzard trying to bust them up again. That's good defence from Tessman, and over the top was Melrose. Last tackle against the Panthers. Brad plays it to brother Craig as it goes away, and Alexander hoists the ball high in the air. Morris getting back for it. Morris takes it well. Morris racing down the touchline. He had to get that ball back inside because he would have been tackled across the touchline, and Worth has it just outside the quarter line. Tessman. It's gone across now to McGahn. The long ball across now to Spina. Away it goes to Gilmeister, and Gilmeister can't beat Izzard's tackle. Brad Izzard wraps him up, centre of the Eastern Suburbs quarter line, as Brad Tessman comes off, and Brian Batiste is the replacement for Eastern Suburbs. Spina out of wide, it goes now towards McGahn. The attempted intercept doesn't come off, as Lydiard realised that Gary Worth was up in the line, and that all he had to do was take that pass, and there was a try on.
Well, this has been one of the big problems, David, all day for the Roosters, is that they have been switching play, but when they've got the link, they've got a three-quarter, then a forward, then another three-quarter, and you can't expect to win a game when you're interchanging like that.
Bentley's pass out wide, goes towards Gonzalez. Gonzalez up over the quarter line. Gonzalez can't get inside Worth. Good defence from the fullback, but he's only 12 metres away. Robinson sends it back. It goes to Bentley. The long pass to Brad Izzard. Brad Izzard decides to hold the ball up and go on his own. He's only 12 metres out now from the Eastern Suburbs goalpost. Izzard. Now it goes to Simmons. Simmons throws the dummy. He can't get the pass away. He's 13 metres away. Goodwin moves to dummy half. He sends it the other way. It goes now from Alexander. That's Bentley. And Bentley's got within 12 metres of the line again. 2 tackles left for Penrith. Going from dummy half is Alexander. It's full time though. The referee says that's it. The match is all over. And Penrith have defeated Eastern Suburbs by 23 points to 12.
Last season was a good one. The game's on the up and up. This year, it'll be even better. The battle for the Winfield Cup. True, we've lost some giants. They were a credit to the game. But we've also found some young'uns. They promise to be the same. That's what the big game's all about. It happens every year. We lose a few of our heroes, but find others who know no fear. We see them give it all they know. We see them give it their best shot. 'Cause whether unknown or famous, you gotta give it all you got. That season was a good one. We saw a big man walking tall. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
On to the State Bank big game now, and Canterbury Bankstown were at home last Sunday in their clash with Manly Warringah. The big news for Canterbury as they took the field was that Steve Mortimer was back and out to have a big one against Manly Warringah.
The State Bank Big Game presents the Winfield Cup.
Well, I think our forwards have always been our strength. Also control the ball, and there are probably a few surprises, mate. But we can't afford to have 2 losses in a row. So we'll be out there in earnest to come up with a victory at Belmore.
Paul, after the result of East going down, a great opportunity for Manly to hit the front.
It certainly is, Graeme, and we'll be making the most of it. I believe it'll be a pretty hard forward clash, and if we can get on top in the forwards, then I feel that our backs can carry the way for us.
Canterbury very quickly becoming the team by which everybody else, what's the yardstick of how somebody's going to go in the premiership?
Yes, I'd say so. They, over the last 3 years, they've won 2 premierships. They've got an excellent forward pack and a great captain in Steve Mortimer, who's a fantastic leader. and any team that beats them is going quite well.
Welcome to Belmore Sports Ground for today's Winfield Cup clash between Canterbury Bankstown and Manly Warringah. Manly won both encounters when they met last season, but Canterbury have started this year with a 22 points to 4 win in the National Panasonic Cup. The Seagulls come into this match after a bye last weekend, while for the Bulldogs, we saw them go down to Parramatta at the stadium. And their full team for today is Potter, Campbell, Hagan in the centre at number 19, Farah, Frendo, Lamb, Mortimer, Langmack, Folkes, Gillespie. Pat Jarvis makes a reappearance in the side, Bugden and Tunks. Manly are still awaiting the return from injury of Big Noel Cleal to add that extra strength to their pack. And their full team today is Williams, Park, Close in the centre in 16, O'Connor, Ronson, Meredith, Hasler, Lyons at lock in number 19, Gibbs, Vorton number 8 in the second row, and captain Brokenshire, Cochrane and Darley. After 5 completed rounds in the Winfield Cup Premiership, Manly are on 9 points from 3 wins, a draw and the bye, and Canterbury are on 6 points from 3 wins and 2 losses. On a magnificent sunny afternoon here in Sydney, Belmore Oval bathed in sunlight, clouds around the horizon, no threat of any sort of bad weather. A nice strong breeze blowing, and just a short while ago there was honoured Jeff Robinson, Robbo, to all his legion of friends for his retirement. The club came up with a very nice gesture, and Robbo was saluted by the crowd, driven around, played over 200 games, started playing with the club 11 years ago, and a good salute to a former very, very popular player here with the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The referee swinging the arms around there, Mick Stone. Manly running from right to left. Canterbury won the toss, I'm advised, and elected to run into the breeze in the first half, although it may well go around to another area before the end of this game. But at the moment, it apparently is favouring Manly slightly. They're running from right to left. Graeme Hughes on the sideline.
Yeah, slightly favouring Manly, more or less a cross breeze. Should favour both sides throughout the match. Of course, they'll be kicking for this near-side grandstand touchline.
OK, the first man to receive the ball was Farah. Now it's the Canterbury side running from left to right in their blue uniform against Manly in their maroon and white. Canterbury will be unquestionably trying to soften Manly up in the forwards. They've got the firepower to do it. Bugden fires a pass out to Tunks. He's driven backwards. The pass was ruled forward by Mr. Stone. It's been a line ball decision. It'll give Manly an opportunity, should they win the scrum, to be in a good attacking position. Lyons with the ball at the moment comes in at lock forward. He's in number 19. Vorton still in number 8, and the captain has moved into the second row. Hasler to feed for Manly, just outside the Canterbury quarter. Penalty to Manly, differential. The signal is that Canterbury weren't packing square on, packing with their front row aiming towards the sideline. Darryl Williams to take the kick for touch. A good crowd in attendance. Graeme Hughes is an expert on Belmore Oval. His opinion of the crowd?
I would suggest getting up to around 14,000.
OK, here's Manly now on the boil with Darley standing at a tackle about 10 metres out from the line and trying to get his arms free, but no way he was going to do that. Cochrane at dummy half. Hasler to Brokenshire, and he's unseated unceremoniously, lost the ball on the tackle. You'll remember that one. It came in very strongly from Langmack. And there's a penalty against Manly for being well and truly inside the 5. A little bit of restlessness here, obviously a bit of feeling. Lyons is a player that Manly need to keep well and truly under control. He does incline, in my view, to be a little bit hyperactive. And he's a player that can concede the odd penalty. Farah kicking for touch. It's a beautiful torpedo punt, and quite a decent one. We didn't have anyone in the crowd to catch it. A gain of about 18 metres from where he took it. Pat Jarvis, first time in first grade this year for Canterbury, formerly with St George. Bugden away to Tunks. In my view, the most constructive front row forward going around in Sydney Rugby League at the moment. Farah elects to get it downfield. It's gone over Williams' head. Nice bounce for him. Takes it on the first bounce. There's plenty of chasers, and back he's driven. Two mighty head-on tackles have taken place. Brokenshire a few seconds ago, and that's 3 then in the space of about 30 seconds. Canterbury all fired up to really sicken the Manly side legitimately. Manly are making very heavy weather of getting away from here. Daly trying to go through the meat of the ruck, and Gazza get a few yards. He's just inside his quarter. Cochrane, Gibbs, picked off beautifully. Steve Mortimer with a boot top tackle right round, and Manly have gone nowhere in 5 tackles. Back to Williams. Gets his kick hurriedly down there. Oh, it's got a nasty bounce there on the occasion for Glenn Frendo, but he's picked it up back near his quarter line. Close is there. O'Connor was over the top. In comes Sandy Campbell from the left wing to take some of the pressure off his forwards. They're back towards the halfway line. Bugden fires it out to Jarvis. Big knee action. Gets him up as high as the Harbour Bridge. Potter, one of the very much informed players. Tunks, who's famous for being able to get that ball away one-handed. Reverse or forward to Lamb. There was a continuation of the tackle, and Gibbs has backed into him. There was a knock on there. That'll be ruled on. Lamb, I was just watching the play back there with Gibbs and Lamb. No touch judges come on. But I think that Gibbs was probably in full flight going into Lamb backwards, trying to block the kick and knock Lamb out of the way. Now this scrum, a critical one for Manly. Pressure that from an unforced error. In and out. That'll be a penalty against Hasler. He came dancing around there like one of the Borovansky ballet. He knew he was offside. There's a penalty kick at goal now for Canterbury. Very cute play by Steve Mortimer. Didn't wait for the Manly players to go back the required distance. Immediately tapped the ball, ran straight at him, copped him inside the 10 metres. They've attempted to tackle him, and he's earned a penalty in a very adjacent position. And there's the head-on replay. Takes the quick tap. That's the State Bank replay we're talking about. Both those players well inside. Lamb, 11 goals already in 87. Moves in now, 3-pace run. Strikes it very well. There's the first blood to Canterbury, and they lead by 2 points to 0. Broken shear. Loses the ball for the second time in 3 handles. That's not front row forward stuff. 6 to go. Out to Steve Mortimer. Caught. Gets a pass away nicely to Jarvis. Jarvis trying to go through the middle. He always takes a power of stopping, and he can do a bit of damage with that high knee action too. Nothing illegal about it. Tunks creamed hard there by Lyons. Bugden. Steve Mortimer. Lamb. Hagan. Hasler there with a little punch, I thought. The referee saw it too. Hasler is very much a different style of player this year. He's very strong on the aggro. Now he's been penalised, and that will be another penalty kick to the Canterbury Bankstown side. The kids in the background belting the tin. He struck that well. Looks good. Aimed it straight outside the left-hand upright. As the pace went off, it curled it back in. He could be a surveyor with a line like that. So Canterbury 4, Manly 0, and Lamb 2 goals from 2 attempts. Well, little knock on there, and that takes the pressure off slightly, but it's been coming in waves, as you mentioned earlier, Graham. They've had a lot of possession. They've had the penalty count much their way, although that's going to defuse it slightly. 4 points on the board. It's not what you'd call a great position at the moment.
Well, I don't know. Manly and Warringah have done exceptionally well. We look at the scoreboard, 21 minutes gone in this first half, and virtually Manly have been defending inside their own quarter for all those 21 minutes. A great performance by them to come up and see Canterbury only just the 2 penalty goals on the board. Canterbury Bankstown certainly are looking very, very sharp, but on the other end of the scale, as I say, defensively, Manly are hanging in there.
All right, let's see how they go now. They've got the play up midway between the quarter and halfway. There's Gibbs right through the middle. He's gone right up there the quarter line. Slipped and fell, but he still gets to his feet and makes another few metres. That was a very good bust there. Right through the middle. Cochrane at dummy half. Fires it out to Hasler. Hasler looks on the outside for Meredith. Meredith at Vaughton. Vaughton standing out very wide. But a pass back into Meredith that's gone to ground. It's picked up by Canterbury, and that's an awful bit of play there. I don't quite know why Vaughton was standing so wide as a back. Tunks pops a one-handed pass to Lamb. That's that famous sort of basketball pass of his, or water polo pass, if you like. And away it goes to Bugden on the open side of the ruck. He elects to stick the head down. So Manly building a shallow grave at the moment. It'll get deeper and deeper as they make mistakes like that. Gillespie in possession. Close to tackler. Langmack. Steve Mortimer. Lamb, long cut-out pass to Hagan. Gets it out to Farah. There's a hole for him to run into. He's straight up the sideline, goes through the tackle and taken down only about 8 metres out from the Manly Warringah goal line. Last tackle coming up. Lamb's gone for the crossfield kick. This should go to a Manly player, taken by O'Connor. He's sidestepping along the dead ball line and gets into the field of play, does he? Yes, by half a metre. Well, Scully Park comes away with a diagonal run that doesn't make much ground, and the Manly forwards have only just arrived. Williams, the fullback, taking it up. There's O'Connor. Well, he has. He's running actually over the dead ball line, actually out of the end of the field. So that should have been a line dropout to restart the play. The referee had no assistance there from the touch judge, obviously. Cochrane fires it. Oh, Williams, God spare me days. He's knocked the ball down. It's gone to ground. That should be a penalty to Canterbury Bankstown, in my opinion. Well, the first offence was a knock-on, but Gibbs has fallen on the ball in an offside position. That's the frightful attempt. Now, you watch, there's a Manly player last touched the ball and Gibbs fell down on it there. So the referee taking the option of the first error, which was the knock-on by Williams. Well, Hasler's got it in and out. Meredith on the run around to Williams, the fullback, who steps through a tackle. Lyons goes to dummy half, fires it out to Vaughton. Vaughton elects to go straight and hard, bumps the player out of the way, loses the ball behind him. It's picked up by Lamb. Now it's fallen on, and it's 6 to go. It wasn't lost forward, and it's Lyons who's getting to his feet. Away to Daly. Daly tries to change direction and stumbles and falls, and there's a Canterbury player now, Bugden, going to be spoken to for the attempted use of a hand or an arm or a fist in that tackle. There's Daly. Watch him come in. There it was. The fact that it missed is really inconsequential. The effort was there again on the State Bank replay. Referee Stone watching both sides pretty carefully in that era. From one of the rare times. They've only been up in the Canterbury quarter once, to my recollection, Graeme Hughes.
Well, this is where it becomes frustrating for Canterbury. They've had all the run of play for some 26, 27 minutes of the first half, and it can become just as frustrating to the side that's had all the share of the possession. Quite often you see a try scored solely against the run of play.
Well, here's Manly about 10 metres out at the moment. Hasler trying to dazzle his way through, gets it to Vaughton. Vaughton a long cut-out pass to O'Connor. And O'Connor weaves, throws the dummy and came back midfield. Still turns, gets his pass away to Meredith, who's a light-stepping player. He gets a pass back into Vaughton. Vaughton can't do much with it. He's wrapped up. Yes, he does. He gets it away to Close. Close can't wind himself up. Tries to crawl along the ground for a few metres. Good defence by Canterbury. Cochrane from dummy half. Turns, swivels. He's beaten 1, 2. Out there to Ronson. Ronson taken out of the play hard and strong. Now they're going to try to move it along. No, Hasler had no runners on the outside of him. Nobody apparently showing a great willingness to run on that occasion. There's a kick being picked out of the air by Gillespie. Beautiful. Slip catch stuff like a Bobby Simpson catch. About 8 metres from the line. There's the kick. He goes down to it, takes it on the second bite. So Canterbury off the hook at the moment. And there's a player down to receive attention. Getting a bit of a pat there from his teammate to say well done. Bugden, Langmack's the man. And there's the Lions tackle. He's round him like a leech. All right, he's up and about. He's only 10 metres out from his line. The score is 4-0 in Canterbury's favour. 2 penalty goals. Bugden, away to Lamb. Hasler, the tackler. About 15 metres out. Tunks back on the inside. Potter was on the end of it. Bugden, Lamb, Mortimer, Gillespie. Back inside to Mortimer. Mortimer's up over halfway, coming to it. Gets it to Lamb. Lamb looks for support. Passes it straight to Vaughton. Hasn't received as good a pass as that all day. Meredith at dummy half. They move it out to Hasler. Out to Lyons. Lyons elects to straighten it up. Goes straight and hard right through. He's popped the pass nicely out there to Cochrane. Cochrane on the accelerate there. Comes to Hagan. Is taken down. Gets to his feet. Can't play it forward. There was no marker decided against that. Out to Hasler. Meredith. Midway between the Canterbury quarter and the halfway line. Vaughton, the only player on the Manly blind side there that was in a position to receive the ball. Gives it dummy half. He's gone the blind side again, and there's no support there. The kick ricochets, goes to Cochrane. Play on, so out to Vaughton. Vaughton down to Meredith. Meredith gives it to Williams. Williams drops it, and Bugden comes up with it, I believe, for... No, it's not Bugden. It's Langmack. Comes up with it. That might have been kicked through. The referee says not. Potter. Mortimer. Farah. Gibbs in over the top there with a spectacular tackle that makes the referee come hastening in. Steve Mortimer holds the pass up, gets it to Lamb. Looks like there might be something on the end of this. Lamb back on the inside to Prendo. Prendo's beaten 1, 2, and he's tackled. Is that a double movement, or is he tackled in the field of play? He's just short. Manly in disarray at the moment. There's a long floating pass gone out to Bugden, and he's wrapped up hard by Lyons and really backslammed. He's up to his feet. He's a tough character. Manly shorter players on this side. It's gone out to Gillespie. Gillespie can't get a pass away. And that's the last tackle, and it's a handover. Well, I've got to say, Manly were lucky to get out of that. That was a very strong, destructive tackle by Lyons on Bugden that slowed the play right down. Lyons now coming up with another run and taking play out to the quarter. Canterbury a little bit slow to respond. Away to Brokenshire. Brokenshire runs into all sorts of trouble on the edge of the Canterbury ruck. Langmack there with Jarvis. Another penalty to Manly. That penalty count at this stage, just looking at it, 6-5 in favour of the Canterbury Bankstown side. So there's been a big catch-up there from Manly's point of view. At one stage it was 4-1. Well, really, if Manly can play, frankly, as badly as they have in some areas of losing the ball and still only be 4 points down to Canterbury, they've got to be in this game still with some sort of a chance. An old footballing mate of mine there, Bernie Seymour, who played a lot of first-grade football for Manly back in the late 50s and 60s and is a selector in the club, just caught that and took a rousing cheer from the crowd, that kick over the sideline. Steve Park running into trouble. Cochrane, Hasler, trying to accelerate his way. He's an astonishingly gifted athlete, this fella. Very, very fast player, Cochrane. Manly players are not looking to run with the ball. Cochrane had a look there. There wasn't a player on the blind side wanted to run with it. Vaughton, away to Hasler. Out to Meredith. Meredith's gone for the kick downfield. It's a straight-up giveaway to the Canterbury side. Mortimer cleans it up, gets it out to Sandy Campbell. Campbell goes upfield. He's picked off by O'Connor. Running from dummy half is Hagan. Went very close to losing that. The referee races in and says it's 6 to go. O'Connor being told to let go. Gillespie. The ball being carried precariously on the top of his chest there. He went close to losing that in that daily tackle. 4-0 Canterbury lead. Mortimer. Langmack. Canterbury player Jarvis there falling over a prone body. Mortimer, a lovely pass out there to Folks. He's tackled midway between the Manly quarter and halfway. About 8.5 minutes to go to the half-time break. Tunks got a one-handed pass away. That wasn't the where it intended it to go. It's fallen on by Manly. Gibbs was able to get to it. Vaughton. Oh dear, Graeme Hughes, they're not running onto the ball at all.
Well, Manly Warringah have had to soak up an enormous amount of pressure. Their forwards are very, very tired. They've still got 8 minutes to go before the half-time break. They're starting to come up with errors. Canterbury slowly but surely starting to find a lot more breaks. Look for a lot of running from dummy half. Steve Mortimer's man.
Steve Mortimer, Jarvis, Langmack, Gillespie. Needed Brokenshire and close there to slow his progress. He was really travelling. Bugden. Mortimer out there like a traffic cop at the moment, waving his arms and telling the players where to go. Potter. Bugden, again, good strong defence from Hasler. The ball's been lost in the tackle. So that will be a scrum, one thinks, to restart the play. The State Bank replay will show that it wasn't stolen from him. Michael O'Connor runs from dummy half, toughs it up about another 8 metres. Young Park runs sideways. They had the ball actually stolen from him there. That's Jarvis going on beyond the point where the referee says tackle. What spectators can't hear is the referee calling to the players saying at a certain point a tackle has been effected. At that point you've got to drop off. About 5.5, maybe 5 minutes to go to the half-time break. Manly spinning it out wide at the moment, out to Meredith onto Close. Close, a late inclusion of the team when Shearer dropped out with a hamstring strain. Hasler, Michael O'Connor, the kick over the top. The race for the ball. Campbell's got to it first. He's taken down by O'Connor, then backslam by Ronson. Canterbury moving it out to Potter. Potter decked in a strong tackle by 2 of the Manly forwards. O'Connor down receiving treatment on a knee at the moment. Here's Steve Mortimer looking, well, he's just overrun his supports, or put another way, they've overrun him, but he had nobody to pass to. Onto Tunks. Beautiful tackle right round the boots by Lyons. Bugden pumps it out to Jarvis. Jarvis through the middle. Gets to the quarter line. Manly's end. Last tackle coming up. It's away to Lamb. Lamb goes to the drop goal. It's a ricochet. This goes to Williams in the in-goal area. He straightens it up and is effectively tackled by Farah. Meredith, the 5'8", running from dummy half. He's still inside the Manly quarter. Well, that ball was interfered with by a Canterbury player lying down at the ruck there. Seen players penalised for that. Vaughton. Works play 10 metres outside the quarter. Cochrane runs from dummy half. Sights a bit of a gap, goes strongly. He's had Martin Meredith on the outside of him there, but they couldn't link Gibbs. Hasler kicks for position. It's going to go back for a position to be fielded by Sandy Campbell, the left winger. He brings it back to the quarter. 4 points to 0. 2 goals from 3 attempts to Terry Lamb. Jarvis being upended midfield. Bugden, Steve Mortimer, Andrew Farah. Steve Mortimer sights a gap, loses the ball in the tackle. Came to him from the Vaughton was the tackler, came from behind and was able to sort of loosen the ball in his grasp. There's Vaughton coming in and his arms came down and knocked the ball through Mortimer's arm. Runs right through the middle of the ruck, looks for support, pivots back into Vaughton. Vaughton has nobody to pass to. Yes, he does. He's busted one tackle, got a pass away much too late. Close was there. The ball's gone to ground. Mortimer has it. I think Mortimer was pretty happy to take a tackle there. There's a replay, and it just shows the late change there by Vaughton. He was actually standing still, suddenly decided he'd go, and he made a good inroad, but that late pass was never going to be taken by Close. It was only shin high. Bugden runs a metre or so. Daly, the defender. Gillespie. He pushes Gibbs off easily. He's busted 2 tackles. Got to go in low on this fella. You don't go in around the chest and shoulders of an enormously powerful young fella like him. There's a good tackle from Gibbs right round Lamb's thighs and drove him sideways. Bugden. Tunks hops through one tackle. There's the hooter in the background, and I suggest to you that at the half-time break, with the scoreline Canterbury 4, 2 goals from 3 attempts to Terry Lamb, Manly 0, that there are 26 players coming from the field who are very happy to be going into the shade and having a look at the inside of the dressing room with a few drinks, etc. So that's it at half-time break. We'll be back shortly with what we hope will produce some tries for the second half of this quite interesting game with 2 big, strong sides going around.
Last season was a good one. The game's on the up and up. This year, it'll be even better. The battle for the Winfield Cup. True, we've lost some giants. They were a credit to the game. But we've also found some young'uns. They promise to be the same. That's what the big game's all about. It happens every year. We lose a few of our heroes, but find others who know no fear. We see them give it all they know. We see them give it their best shot. 'Cause whether unknown or famous, you gotta give it all you got. That season was a good one. We saw a big man walking tall. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
I believe there's been a change of jumpers for the Canterbury Bankstown side, Graeme Hughes.
Yes, no changes to either side player-wise, but there's only Terry Lamb, Steve Mortimer and Michael Hagan that haven't changed their jumpers from the first half. The complaint being that it was so hot and the jumpers were so wet, that's why they were coming up with a lot of spilt ball, that when being tackled, the ball was just popping out.
OK, just a question on the wind. Is it favouring Canterbury or is it still blowing straight across field here?
Well, it's coming across field, but it does tend to, if anything, maybe favour Manly just a fraction.
OK, the kickoff goes straight to Williams. I'd like to see Williams just iron himself up a little bit with these runs of his to bring the ball back. He's a big strapping fella. He seems to take the first tackle fairly easily. Anyway, easy to sit here in a commentary position and be critical with a temperature out there about 27 or 28 degrees. Away to Vaughton. Manly just up near their quarter. A long cut-out pass to O'Connor. Beautiful quick hands out there to Park. He's got it way on the inside for Vaughton. Vaughton swings it out to Hasler. Hasler sights a little opening, tries to go through it. It closes. Gillespie was the man that closed it. Away to Daly. Good pump up through the edge of the ruck. Turned his back, looked to give the pass. Very slowly to his feet. Cochrane runs from dummy half, kicks ahead. Chase for the ball lying free. And as far as I'm concerned, Farrow's in an offside position, fell on that. Let's have a look at a replay if we can on that one. It appeared to me that the ball came off the State Bank replay. There's the kick through by Cochrane. There's the contest with the ball here at this stage. There's the ball touched by, well, it came off the legs of a Manly player last, but just prior to that it was into a Canterbury player. So quite right ruling there by Mick Stone. But as a result of that sloppy bit of play, we've had a scrum go down about 5 metres from the halfway line. It's a Hasler feed for Manly. He gets it into the referee's satisfaction. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Martin Meredith just dropped the football there. It's swooped on by Farah. He'll get up and he could have played it forward. Now Terry Lamb started to trudge forward. He gets it up to the quarter. Manly spilling the ball on the first and second tackle. And the story of the first half statistically, with Tunks running on the blind side of the ruck, the scrums went to Manly 4-3. Now Canterbury come with a long cutout pass that evaded Potter, and Steve Mortimer was trying to pump it up. He had nobody to go with him. The crowd give him a bit of a cane there. Langmack, the dummy, holds a pass up, can't get it away. Now it's fallen on. It's been knocked back in the air, and the referee says it's double knock-ons. The penalties went to, that was a very messy bit of play there, as you can see, out of character bit of football there. The ball actually being kicked by a player lying on the ground. That was a funny one. But nonetheless, the scrum goes down, and again, it's a Hasler feed. Penalties went 7-6 to Manly. There was one against the feed in the scrums, that 4-3 tally. Possession held, and this is probably a little bit of an indictment of Canterbury's attack, or do we compliment the Manly defence, because possession held, Canterbury had it for 86 times as opposed to Manly's 59. As a result of that massive amount of possession, of course, one would expect certain number of tries to have been scored. That hasn't been the case. The missed tackles, 12 to Canterbury, 8 to Manly. Handling errors 9 all. That's quite low for such a difficult day to play the game on with the heat. And Canterbury have kicked the ball 10 times in general play, Manly 8. Manly about 12 metres from the halfway line. On to Daly. He's hit very, very hard there. Just taken right out of the play. Given no opportunity as Jarvis just wrapped him up, and there's the tackle. What a crunch. Gibbs, Vaughton, Hasler, Meredith, O'Connor. O'Connor sights an opening, tries to go through it, but the Defence was very adequate to the task there. I think he's stolen the ball from Michael O'Connor. Again, they lose it on the second tackle. Tunks. Steve Mortimer. Jarvis tearing his way forward. A little bit of a 4-1-2 for overacting on that case. That way, Pat seeking for the penalty to be given his way. Bugden. Steve Mortimer. Tunks switches it back to Mortimer. Old Western Suburbs move out to Lamb. Lamb goes right through the middle, looks for support. He's got Potter. There's the first try of the match to Hagan. Michael Hagan in for a try. Beautifully worked move. Worth a good long scrutiny on the State Bank replay. That's a move that Western Suburbs well perfected as far as I'm concerned a number of years ago, and it's been a traditional move with them. The play went out one side and switched back across the ruck. Lamb was able to ease his way through the middle, got a pass then onto Potter. Potter got it to Hagan backing up, and that's a try. We'll see it from another angle. The critical pass, of course, came when when Tunks was able to reverse the play to Steve Mortimer. There's Lamb coming inside the tackle of Lyons, or the non-event of a tackle. And there was Hagan on the backup on the inside. Graeme Hughes, well-worked try.
It was superbly worked by Canterbury. This try was a result purely and simply a result of the first 40 minutes of football. The Manly forwards are a very, very tired bunch. The danger period for them was always going to be the first 10 or 15 minutes. Canterbury have got the break to go on and win this match. The Manly forwards, I'd be looking for quite a few replacements midway through this second half.
Well, if you had a look at the Manly reserve grade pack, I don't think you'd be too sanguine about bringing terribly many of them up to first grade. But that's Manly's problem. Here is Lamb with the attempted conversion. Kicked the ground a little bit, but nonetheless it's over. So that score has hastened on to a very respectable one after only 5 minutes of the second half. Canterbury 10, Manly 0. Well, they've got it all to do, and it can't be done from their own quarter. Manly have got to be able to command some possession, retain some possession. On the occasion they kick, they've got to put Canterbury under pressure, and they've got to try to play the game down in Canterbury's area. It's untall order, believe you me. But that's not a bad start to proceedings, with a kick-off from the line to restart play after Canterbury rather sloppily allowed that ball to go deep. Potter tried to stop it, and then it went through, I think it was Hagan's hands out there. Anyway, Farrow's going to come up with the line drop out to relieve. He's usually good for something in the order of 40-45 metres. Well, it's not a great kick. Michael O'Connor allowed it to bounce. It did get to halfway. Williams, I get the impression that Williams sometimes slows down to take the tackle, Graeme Hughes.
Well, it's a very, very tough forward pack, and they've come up with some enormous hits, this Canterbury side. This is one man that's played outstanding football. They've been in a lot more trouble without Paul Vorton, and a big performance in the first half from Des Hasler.
Okay, Manly in possession on the Canterbury quarter. Ronson, Hasler, Meredith tries to straighten the attack. He's still tackled about 5 metres away from the quarter. Gibbs, way to Brokenshire. Sets himself. That's a good strong charge up the blind side of the ruck. About 18 metres out from Canterbury's line. Lyons, Hasler, Meredith. Evades two defenders. There's a little kick through. Was he taken out of the play? The referee will rule on that. He's going to rule on it. It's a penalty to Manly. Yes, he says that there was a quite definite interference with him after he made this evasive run. A little kick, and there it was. Brought him down. Not dissimilar, the Lamb and the Cochrane style. They both go back very slowly. 172 points in 1986 he was responsible for. Strikes that well. It's out of the ground. It's 2 points to Manly, and they come on the board 10 points to 2 after about 9.5 minutes play at Belmore. Hasler. Meredith. Oh, the kick's been charged down. It'll go back to Hasler. Play 6 to go, says the referee. Hasler scoots out of one tackle, goes out of another one, running around in ever diminishing circles, and finally it's Terry Lamb that comes back at him from behind. Lamb was the first player he beat, but he ran back towards him. Chris Close, around one man, gets the pass nicely out to Park. Park comes inside, steps 2 men, accelerating. It's a good run from the young fellow. He takes play 8 metres into the Canterbury half. Close at dummy half. Out to Hasler. Hasler to Lyons. Lyons looking for support. Gets a pass on the inside. Got it nicely to Williams. Williams is looking for support on the outside. Throws a long floating pass out to Ronson. Ronson back on the inside to O'Connor. Got a pass to Vaughton. The referee says it was lost forward, and Manly let Canterbury off the hook there. They had them spread open, but the pass has gone to ground, and Canterbury have come up with it, and they take play across field from their quarter. Steve Mortimer was a player there that was involved in the defence at the end of that bit of action by Manly. Andrew Farron. There's Steve, Peter Tunks rather. And now he's a dummy half, and then on to Langmack. He comes through a strong tackle by Daly and still manages to trundle on to the halfway line. He might take a bit of time over that one, Langmack. There's the tackle coming in. To Lamb. Lamb kicks downfield. This should go down Williams' throat. It does. He runs straight into one of the players there and ricocheted from him. Got a pass to Vaughton. Vaughton sets sail. Gets it out to Michael O'Connor. O'Connor comes back on the infield, trying to weave his way through the middle. I thought his best option was up the sideline there. I thought he went back in where all the heavy defence was. Lyons throws a dummy, goes cartwheeling through the middle. Took a Terry Lamb tackle to put him down. Vaughton picked off beautifully. Lovely tackle by little Steve Mortimer right round the boot tops. Hasler. Meredith. Michael O'Connor. Back on the inside to Meredith. Meredith able to swing his way out of several tackles. Gibbs fires it out to Brokenshire. Brokenshire looks for support, gets it to Close. Close out to Park. Park's up the sideline. Comes midfield. Should be a try. Oh, Close has put it down. Oh dear, oh dear. His handling at times has been, in his career with Manly Warringah, has been a bit of a bone of contention. There was the opportunity of a try here had he taken that pass. There was defence around. I'm not suggesting it was a lay-down misère, but certainly he would have gone reasonably close to scoring a try. Canterbury, midway between the quarter, their end, and the halfway, leading by 10 points to 2, about 12 minutes to go. Desperation time for Manly. Kick downfield finds Williams a little bit to the left. He fields it one-handed. There's 4 Canterbury defenders there. He's looking for support. He does very well not to do anything, just to take the tackle. That situation was fraught with danger. Park runs from dummy half. The young constable gets unseated there about 7 metres from his quarter line. Michael O'Connor running from dummy half. Cochrane onto Lyons. Lyons looks for support, can't do it. He had the ball under one arm. Meredith. Vaughton. One-handed pass to Lyons. Last tackle coming up. Cochrane throws the dummy back on the inside to Ryan. Ryan tried to kick it. It miscued, very nearly missed the ball entirely. Was taken on the full by Tunks. So Canterbury back in possession, just their own side of halfway. Steve Mortimer. Dreadful attempt at a kick. There's Potter. Potter running a gain of about 8 metres. Just starting to unleash himself there. Tunks pushed one of the Manly players right out of the way. Away goes Potter on the blind side, gets it onto Lamb. He's tackled 5 metres short of the Manly quarter. Last tackle coming up. What are the tactics? They go the blind side. Langmack throws a pass out there to Campbell. He's over the sideline. It will be a scrum. Glenn Frendo there, not Campbell. Another replacement there, Graeme Hughes.
Paul Dunn has moved to the sideline in 24. He came rushing out from the tunnel. We don't have any information on who is to come off.
Paul Dunn did some marvellous things in the reserve grade game with ball distribution. They lost the game, but was no fault of his, one wouldn't have thought. Oh, well taken there. Sandy Campbell, beautifully judged, almost like a Statue of Liberty play there. Caught the ball virtually on the tips of one hand. Out to Mortimer. Farah right through, up to the corner, steps inside Hasler, gets the pass to Mortimer, and Mortimer's in for the try. Beautiful stuff from Canterbury. They open Manly right up. Steve Mortimer on the back up, but Andrew Farah was the man who created the try. And here's the action from the low-level camera on the State Bank replay. That was the Mortimer pass onto Farah. The little stutter with the legs. The change of direction. Watch him come inside Hasler now off the left foot. There it is. Beautiful straightening, and then selectively out to Steve Mortimer, who hit the pass, travelling at a rate of knots. And that's a very good try. Again, from the high-level camera, Steve Mortimer initiated the move out to Farah. Farah goes right through the defence there. There's a defence of Hasler, and there comes the pass to Mortimer. And it's right underneath the post. Andrew Farah, who's been one of Canterbury's very, very good players today. Steve Mortimer coming up with a try. Terry Lamb to attempt the conversion from right in front. It's 14 points to 2. Still plenty of time in this match for a lot more points to be scored. $16 points to 2. Terry Lamb comes up with another conversion attempt, which is successful. And Steve Mortimer, the try. Well, we had, I think, Tucks leaving the field on that occasion, so the referee, the coach of the Canterbury side must be pretty sanguine about his team's chances with 10 minutes to go. You've got Peter Tucks there, Graeme Hughes.
Thanks, Rex. Peter, any major problems with an injury?
No, Graeme. Just pretty hot out there and just getting a bit tired, so Warringah Paul will run.
Manly Warringah were a hard side to crack. You had so much possession in the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, they're a really good side now. They haven't been beaten in the competition proper so far, so it's tough.
Hold it, just a moment. We've got Hagan being put through with a one-handed pass. He's made a good inroad, looking for support on the outside. Farah arrived just a fraction late, but Manly in disarray. 6 to go. Ball played forward. Up he gets, moves it out to Bugden. Bugden onto Dunn. Dunn trying to light step his way through the defence there. They're up to the Manly quarter. Bugden, Langmack back on the inside there to Dunn, to David Boyd. Once again, they're only 18 metres out from Manly's line and putting the screws, turning the screws harder and harder. There's Jarvis getting a pass away. It's on the ground, out to Steve Mortimer. He can't scurry through. We'll just wait till this section of tackles goes through, and we'll come back to Tuxie. There's Lamb kicking for a field goal. It's wide and away. So back to you, Graeme.
Peter, it probably just underlines how much and how important it was to win. You just can't afford to put 2 losses together.
Yeah, well, we sort of only had ourselves to blame last week, and this week we've improved. We just made the most of our chances today and just gradually wore Manly down, I think.
Well, what else, any other factors being the difference? Steve Mortimer back in action?
Yeah, he's really had a good game today, Steve. I think we missed him last week, his leadership as well, and I think he's been our best player out there today.
OK, Peter Tunks.
OK, well, we're back with the action with Canterbury still in possession about 10 minutes Manly side of halfway. Gillespie's there. Lyons and he just had a slight disagreement. There's a run put in from dummy half from, I think that's Frendo. Now it's out to Mortimer. Mortimer looks for Jarvis. Jarvis goes over the top of the defending player there, Lyons. Mortimer directing traffic. Out to Langmack. Nice pass on to Farah. Farah's up the middle of the ruck. Goes through, gets the pass away nicely. And Bugden's there screeching for him to get to his feet. It'll be a play the ball penalty. That was David Boyd being held down there, and it's going to be the penalty directly underneath the goal posts. Steve Mortimer coming up to ensure that there was no quick tap taken. He wants as many points as he can. Well, the crowd think it's over. A great percentage of them now starting to win their way out of Belmore Oval. At 16 points to 2 with 6 minutes to go. I'm not arguing. Lamb. kicked the sand again, but nonetheless, it's been another two-pointer, 18 points to 2, and only about 5 minutes to go. Two tries to the Canterbury side and 5 goals. Kick-off now. Cochrane drives it deep. It's taken by Lamb. He was looking for somebody to give it to. Now he offloads nicely to Andrew Farrer. There's been a damaging player. Busts one more tackle and takes it over the quarter line. Langnack shoots it out to Dunn on the blind side of the ruck. He goes 10 metres beyond the quarter line. Bugden. Gillespie. No marker, he's slowly to his feet. Brokenshire gets there in front of him. He's taken a bit of a knock, Mortimer. David Boyd there, trying to swing those arms free. Hagan. And again, it's Boyd pushing players out of the way to get to the ball. Right on the halfway line. Bugden. Lamb. Got a pass away to Mortimer. Williams fields it inside his quarter. There's Ticehurst, the replacement for Ronson on the right wing for Manly. Cochrane. Hasler. Close. Swinging it wide. Lyons, cut-out pass out to Michael O'Connor. A dummy. Slips and falls. Lyons. Last tackle coming up. Manly really going nowhere through this defence. Back to Williams. Williams' kick is going to be an awkward one for Frendo because he had the sun directly in his eyes there. He's avoided one tackle of young Parks. Stepped right inside him, brings the ball back towards the halfway line. Farrer on the run around with Potter. Enormously powerful player, Andrew Farrer. Mortimer firing that pass out to Dunn, who's picked off around the legs by Lyons. Just over the halfway line. Lamb runs from dummy half. Avoids one tackle. 18 points to 2. Belmore Oval. 14,500 people originally have made up their mind that Manly have been shot to ribbons in this game. They tried hard. There's no suggestion of any turning up the toes, but they just didn't have the firepower. The kick has seen Darryl Williams have to scoop it up on his own goal line and bring it out about 10 metres. Bugden at dummy half. Players just going through the motions right now. Lyons up over the quarter line. Hasler. He evades one tackle. Eventually Bugden is able to put him off. Close runs from dummy half. Paul Dunn was the tackler on Close. Now they swing it wide out to Hasler. Borton. Lyons swivels through a tackle, gets it nicely out to Michael O'Connor. O'Connor up over the halfway. Weaves his way back in field. Gets a pass beautifully to Lyons. It'll be play on. The referee will play on. It's picked up by Ticehurst. And Manly are in for the try. So better late than never. Manly come up with a try at the end of the match. 16 points to 6. The referee right beside the play ruled that that last pass was knocked forward or backwards, whichever point of view you want to make, but it was knocked by a Canterbury player, so he waved play on. 6 to go. Lyons initiated it by that swivel back there. He was able to put O'Connor into the clear. Now watch the clever pass O'Connor delivers back on the inside. He does the full swivel and then turns the ball beautifully back to Lyons. Lyons tried to get it over the top, but it was interfered with by Terry Lamb. He waited until the ball had just about slowed down before he picked it up and put the ball over the line for a good try. We're into injury time at the moment. Jeremy Ticehurst, I think, if I'm right in saying, has scored his first try in first grade. And that will be some sort of a landmark for the young player. Cochrane from the sideline. Well and truly into injury time. He struck that well. It's coming around, but not quite enough. Beautifully judged kick, really. The wind just didn't blow strongly enough. That is the hooter. And at full time, worthy winners have been the Canterbury Bankstown side by 18 points to 6. They scored 2 tries to 1. The tries in the Canterbury Bankstown side went to Steve Mortimer and Michael Hagan. And Terry Lamb came up with 5 goals. And for the Manly side, it's been a try and a goal. A try coming to Ticehurst 30 seconds ago and 1 goal to Mal Cochrane.
Last season was a good one. The game's on the up and up. This year, it'll be even better. The battle for the Winfield Cup. True, we've lost some giants. They were a credit to the game. But we've also found some young'uns. They promise to be the same. That's what the big game's all about. It happens every year. We lose a few of our heroes, but find others who know no fear. We see them give it all they know. We see them give it their best shot. 'Cause whether unknown or famous, you gotta give it all you got. That season was a good one. We saw a big man walking tall. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Very high-scoring weekend of Winfield Cup football. Let's now go to all the highlights of all the other games.
Saturday's East Penrith match turned into the Brad Izzard show.
Brilliant combination, brilliant try.
The only interruption came with Tobin's try for East.
That defence was up quickly. Tobin picks it up. Tobin will score. Tobin's in.
After a stint in reserve grade, Izzard relished his chance once again in the top grade.
And Izzard's in for his second. Now he's lost the ball.
Skipper Roy Simmons broke the deadlock on half-time for Penrith to lead 7-6.
It looks pretty good. Royce has got one.
But Izzard increased that lead in the opening minutes of the second half.
So now we're seeing a big break made by Brad Izzard. He's over the halfway. He's over the quarter line. Izzard will go almost the length of the field. Belmore drives, misses, and Izzard scores.
He seemed to be everywhere.
Past 9, found Gerard. Lovely ball away to Brad Izzard. Izzard's up over the halfway. Back the ball goes towards Lydiard. Lydiard will probably score. He's over the quarter line. Chalice coming at him. The ball goes to Alexander, and Alexander scores. What a try!
And when he couldn't break the line, his kicking game came into prominence.
There's an immediate kick through from Lydiard. From Izzard, I should say, and going through very quickly. Going for the ball is Morrison. Loses a try. It'll be a try.
East came back with a token try near the end, but it was all Penrith on the day, inflicting East's first loss of the season.
He's over the corner line, and Worth will score a brilliant try.
At Redfern Oval, there was standing room only as close to 15,000 spectators made the most of every vantage point, and after 18 minutes, Parramatta was applying all the pressure. Running from dummy half, Peter Wynn did well in offloading the pass to Tony Chalmers, and Parramatta led by 8 points to 2 at half-time. Parramatta extended their lead 6 minutes into the second half with a sensational try. Brett Keddy did the initial lead-up work before Michael Mosley found Sterling, who brilliantly flicked the ball back inside for fullback Graham Atkins. 6 minutes later, the Rabbitohs were dealt a cruel blow when Neil Baker had to be replaced after suffering what's known as a serious knee injury. Peter Sterling capped off a fine all-round display with a superb individual try. Replacement back Darryl Neville scored a late consolation try for the Rabbitohs, but Parramatta were far too strong, running out winners by 19 points to 6. At the Wollongong Showground, St George drew first blood with a movement that started within their own quarter line. Bill Noak was the man who found the open spaces before offloading for Wilfred Williams, who in turn threw the final pass for a Cole Fraser try. The Dragons were at it again soon after a neat pass from Craig Young put Steve Funnell through some feeble defence for one of his 2 tries, and St George seemingly had a match-winning lead of 16-2 at half-time. In the second half, the Steelers took over with a rousing comeback winger Owen Saunders scoring 2 tries. Worthington also got across the line as the Steelers fans witnessed a memorable victory by 20 points to 16, a win that will leave St George fans even more distressed. At the Endeavour Field, there was no shortage of tries, with 7 being scored in the first half. West winger John Allenson is proving a regular scorer, bagging another try this time off a great bust by the new fullback Steve McCoy. Cronulla hit back through a sizzling try for fullback Jonathan Docking. Allenson fell from grace though, feeling the ball near the dead ball line. He attempts to run it back out, but loses it in the tackle with Glenn Coleman pouncing on the ball for one of his 3 tries. Cronulla led by 24 points to 12 at the break, and the second half was a scrappy affair. Ron Quinn scored the final try of the match as the Sharks notched their 4th win of the season, 34-22. At Seaford Oval, the Balmain Tigers bounced to an early 2-0 lead over Canberra via a Ross Conlon penalty, and that lead was increased to 8-0 with a try by skipper Wayne Pearce. At half-time, the Raiders trailed by 11 points after Ross Conlon had kicked 3 from 4 and Benny Elias had calmly potted a drop goal. Phil Sigsworth, back in first grade with his new club, gave the Tigers a handy 19-2 lead midway through the second half. Canberra made many errors throughout the match, but did reduce the deficit to 19-8 when Chris O'Sullivan scored the Raiders' first try. Just minutes later, O'Sullivan crossed for his second, and the Raiders seemed to be back on the comeback trail. Despite that comeback, the Tigers finished the stronger, running out winners by 26 points to 18, both sides scoring 3 tries, but Ross Conlon's 6 goals from 7 attempts proving the difference.
As I said, a very high-scoring weekend of Winfield Cup football. Let's just check those results for you right now. On Saturday, Penrith got it underway with that upset over Eastern Suburbs. Illawarra coming from behind, I believe 16-2 down at one stage. Balmain getting home against Canberra. Cronulla in a big win. Western Suburbs coming with a late surge in the second half. Parramatta strongly over South Sydney, and Canterbury back on that rails with that victory over Manly Warringah. Now, the premiership table, Balmain and East sharing the joint premiership there on 10 points. Manly Warringah and Canterbury, Bankstown and Canberra, Cronulla, all well and truly up there. And not far away, the group of Illawarra, Norths, Parramatta, Penrith, South, St George and West certainly struggling at this stage. Now, next weekend, the St George side take on North Sydney, Penrith versus Canberra, Balmain versus Illawarra, West versus East, Manly versus South Sydney, and a very tough one coming up for Parramatta versus Cronulla. Jack Gibbs' side's well and truly in form at the moment. Well, an action-packed week again of Rugby League. I certainly trust you enjoyed all the action. Look forward to your company next week. Until then, I'm Graeme Hughes. Goodbye for now.